Hello, my name is Kurt. This is my Good Life Meditation. Welcome to the Valley of Tea here in Shizuoka, Japan. This is an exercise that I do each and every day, a little bit after waking up, to remember my life's objectives and principles, those which are outlined in my book, Going Alone. I also use the time to think about the last 24 hours and how I did with any noteworthy challenges or opportunities that I met. Did I keep my balance? Did I respond well? If I didn't, why not? What was it about the circumstance that caused me to falter or fall down? But before I get started, let me welcome the many new subscribers to the channel. It's great to have you here. By way of introduction, I'm Kurt. I'm a 61-year-old American, retired, living here in the countryside of Japan with my Japanese wife, who is also retired. We're about 6 months into that process, learning to make our lives anew again after the long effort of our careers and raising our daughter, Emily. Emily's also here in Japan, living in the Tokyo area. I do this video every day as a journal entry. I also do lots of other videos about Japan, but this one is just about me. So if you're interested in watching over my shoulder as I write in my journal, you're welcome to join in. I do read and respond to comments, but I wait until the end for that. All right. Also, I do talk about sensitive subjects here, namely death. I talk about my own plans for death every day. So beware if that's a subject that is uncomfortable for you. Thank you. I do appreciate your support. You're watching my videos, supporting me as a member on YouTube and on Patreon means the world to me. It means to help you to fuel my adventures. All right, here looks like a good spot right here to do it. You can see in the distance back there, that's Holy Mount Ryuso. If you've ever heard of Japanese Yamabushi mountain warriors, that's one of the mountains where such folks would live. Yeah. Rogue samurai live. I don't know if rogue is the right word, but living up there in the mountains, hanging from trees, upside down over waterfalls, plunging into cold streams to become the best warriors ever. So I like to take inspiration from that to try to do my best to be the best me ever. All right, so let's get started. So I'm going to do three things now. I'll talk about the last 24 hours and any noteworthy events. I'll go over my creed, and I'll talk about today's goals. First, on the last 24 hours, I didn't have anything that I can think of that came out that challenged me. I'm not having a lot of challenges anymore. Although I did note that I kept my balance really well yesterday. The day seemed to be hard to push me over. I was very deliberate in my actions. The whole feeling of days is beginning to change. It's like, it used to be the weekdays felt like weekdays, and they don't feel like weekdays anymore. They just feel like days. And I wake up and I get up early. I get up at 4 a.m. every morning, and I plan out my day. I think about what I'm going to do, and I begin doing it. I execute it, and I punctuate it with routine activities like breakfast, lunch, and dinner, dog walks, and then between that I fill it with useful activities. And I'm really starting to feel like, you know what it feels like? Have you ever gone a long hike, like in the mountains or something like that, and the first mile or two of the hike, you're kind of like, this is really hard, you know? What was I thinking? How am I ever going to make it to the top of this mountain? And then somehow you get your second wind that comes, and then you're like, man, what was the problem before? I'm just kind of going. I feel like I've reached my second wind day in retirement. Not every day. I mean, I'm still having some struggling days, but this is not as hard as it was 4 months ago. You know, the first 2 months were fun and easy. Then after 2 months, retirement got to be a bit of a pain in the butt. And then it was hard for 4 months. And now it's getting to be easy in a settled way. So I'll just leave it at that. I feel balanced. Remember, this is my journal. So it's a Dear Diary. Yesterday was great. Oh, speaking of great, I've got my diagnosis. I saw the eye doctor yesterday. It's a cataract in my left eye, which is great news because cataracts are treatable. I had fears, now that I'm in my 60s, of more serious vision problems like macular degeneration or something like that. So it's good to know it's something treatable. Surgery is scheduled for September 17th. I'm going to get her done. In the meantime, I'm going to go around kind of squint-eyed, and I'm going to leverage that, as I'm going to say in my post today that I just sat up at the temple. I walked up to the temple. That's the village of Hirasawa right there. It's a mile from my house down the valley. Every morning I would walk up to the temple and climb the steps and do my propitiation at the altar up there. And then I come back down and I sit in the temple grounds and I write my blog post for today. And what I wrote was that I'm going to utilize this diagnosis of cataracts as a memento mori moment for the next 3 months while I live through having this faulty vision. Every day is a visual reminder, literally, that death is imminent. My body is in the process of decline, rapidly beginning to increase its decline now that I'm in my 60s. And I'm going to be dead and in the midst of oblivion because I don't believe in God. I don't believe in heaven. I don't believe I have a soul. I believe that once I'm dead, it's it for me. Everything's gone. It'll be just as bad as it was before I was born, which wasn't bad at all. I don't remember anything of it because I didn't exist. So that's coming very soon. And probably I'm going to suffer along the way. Probably I'm going to have to endure the suffering, or I'll have to be a helper to my wife if she suffers first, as she goes down. Whichever of us, and maybe hopefully we don't both go down together, so that we can at least one of us be a crutch to the other as we find our way towards death. So, but anyway, so this memento mori is my bad vision. I'm gonna twist it into a good thing for that. So that was that. Yesterday was a great day. And those of you, Gerald and the other buyer, I don't know your first name. I saw you were here yesterday. Thank you for your patience. I didn't get to shipping your 2 orders yesterday because I was all tied up. Because once I went to the doctor in the morning, they put the eye drops in, and I'm all dilated, and I couldn't drive, so I couldn't go to the hardware store to get the boxes to ship your orders. Yumiko's taking her dad to the eye doctor this morning. So after lunch, when Yumiko comes back with the car, I'm going to stay home because I have more work to do. I'm going to go to the hardware store and get those boxes and get those orders to you. Thank you so much for your waiting and your patience while I did this. It was great to be talking about this yesterday and saying, I've got some orders I need to ship. And the 2 people that actually bought the items were in comments. They're like, it's cool. You don't, no hurry. I really appreciate that. Wow, what a nice little intimate community we have. Okay, what else? That was it for yesterday. On terms of the creed, my creed consists of 8 objectives: to be always ready to die, to make good and effective use of time, to develop and maintain good and sound life principles, to cultivate good emotional reactions, to perform good actions, to recognize my true limits and true opportunity, to do just one thing at a time, and do that thing slowly and deliberately and carefully, and to keep my balance. And speaking of balance, I strategically came over to show you this bridge. Do you think any of you can keep your balance crossing this old footbridge? It's an upside down railroad. Check it out. It's made of railroad ties here, and then old railroad trestles on the top with a 2x2 on either side as a beam. And so it's literally an upside down railroad. And the farmers would use that to cross over. Can you imagine crossing this, being a farmer with some big old bundle on your back? Making your way across this? And it's all rotten now. I crossed it once years ago when I was living here before. But never again. I'm not getting near that thing. Okay, as for today, what am I going to do today? I'm going to... Well, hold on, darn it. It ambushed me. I didn't think about this beforehand. Because I stopped here at the river. I don't have my notebook. I loitered and lingered. But this is fun. Now that the weather's nice, I can do this out here. Today I'm going to ship those 2 items. It's shipping day. That's all it is. And until Yumiko gets back with the car, it's going to be work. I'm going to be working on other things as well. Oh, and then my driver's license. Oh, geez, of course. I've got to work on my driver's license. So that's my task for that. Well, Yumiko's gone. That's what I'm going to work on. Getting my driver's license translation document submitted. It's an online form that I can do through the Japan Automobile Federation here. I think AAA for Japan. Okay, let's see. Let's read comments. There's Tim. Hi, good morning. Sometimes I forget what day it is during the week, so I try and do something completely different over the weekend to try and make it more special, if that makes sense. It does, Tim. Do you ever find yourself, though, feeling you can sense it by the atmosphere around you? Like, for example, if I walk down through the community, I can feel, oh, it's a weekend because there's people out and about. Or it's a weekday because the streets are clear. And all the other people I see are retired people like me. Does that ever happen to you? Tim says, the bridge reminds me of Indiana Jones. Yeah. Andrew says, when did you fully move to Japan? Will you spend your whole retirement there? How is the social life, friends, etc.? Well, I fully moved to Japan on December 12th last year, 2024. So I've been here just about 6 months. What was the second part of that? Will you spend your whole retirement there? I don't know. Yumiko and I are entertaining the thought of getting a place in the United States too, maybe like in the countryside or something like that. Not in California, we couldn't afford to live there. Or maybe just live in Airbnb life, after the dogs are gone, just, not get any more pets and just hit the road and just live around the world in Airbnbs. That's one idea. And how is the social life? Friends you can have as many friends as you want. I tend to not have personal friends. So, I really don't have friends. So, but you can, if you come over here and you want to have friends, you can certainly find them, Japanese or otherwise. There are lots of people. Erica, hi Erica. Missy Boo, good morning Kurt, and welcome to the chat. Welcome, hi Missy Boo. Yes, it does. Yeah, you can sense that as well, Tim. And Erica says hi to all. All right, everybody. Well, I made it through comments. I'm ready to start the day. Gonna get that license translation thing submitted. And then when Yumiko gets back, I'm going to go to the hardware store, get the boxes, and get those items shipped. Oh, there's Gerald right there. Gerald, you just came in time just for me to hear them. It's my top priority to get your order in the mail to you. I liberated your pruning shears from Yumiko. I went downstairs yesterday and said, give me those back. And she said, you got to get me a new pruning shears. So I will. I'm going to, but I don't want just any pruning shears. Like, I could go to a hardware store and buy just any pruning shears. I want pruning shears that have had some life, that have been well taken care of, that are nice and sharp, that are interesting, like the ones you bought, Gerald. So that's why I got them the first time, because I found them at the antique store. I got them, that my wife was using them, and I told her when I lettered, I says, I'm going to list these. These are going to go somewhere. Someone's going to buy these someday. And she understood that was the case. But now I need to get her new pruning shears. I'll have to be on the lookout at the antique fairs for new pruning shears to give to my wife. Gerald says, hey Kurt, just driving home from work. I emailed you my comic. Yes, I saw your email there. I haven't read it yet because sometimes the emails that I need to give attention to, I want to wait till I have a moment of time and I'm not distracted. I'm going to take a look at that and look through your comic too. Everybody check out Gerald's, go ahead and, if you can drop it in the chat. I don't remember the name of the comic, unfortunately, but Gerald's an artist and a writer and has a comic strip. I don't know if you call it a strip, comic series. Whiskey says, hey mate, go down to the local pub and make a few friends. I don't want any friends. I'm not that kind of person. I'm happy with one friend, my wife. And that's all the socializing I need. I know that other people are like that. Other people need people and connections and stuff like that. I'm just not one of them. Erica says, cheers. Gerald says, I bought the sake cup, not the shears. Oh. Sorry, Gerald, I got it wrong. Yeah, no, your sake cup. Your sake cup is sitting on my special shelf called softypapa shelf, waiting to go. And I picked it up yesterday to look at it because I knew you'd bought it, just to admire it. Because it is a nice one. It's funny. Your sake cup is what really struck me was how different it was. It's clearly Japanese in form, but it's got more of a geometric pattern on it. And what's going on with that Egyptian eye down the middle? I picked it up and I showed it to my wife because we saw it at the antique fair. And I said, look at this. This is Guinomi. It's unlike any others. And it's big for a healthy drink of sake. I thought it was a teacup at once. And I asked the antique dealer, I said, kore wa Guinomi? And he said, hi, sorry, Guinomi. Ocha no? He said, is it for tea? No, it's not for tea. It's for sake, he said. Okay, there we go. Okay, well, I don't see Gerald mentioning your comic strip. Gerald, did you want to drop the name of your comic strip? Or strip, I don't know, comic series, your what it is? If you want to drop the name here for others to check it out, just go ahead and do it. I'll hang on for a second. And while I hang on, we will take a look. I'll wait for Gerald to leave a comment so that all the 15 people that are watching, if you want to check out Gerald's strip. It's too bad that YouTube doesn't allow the comments here to be findable after. There's that bridge. Now look at that. That's an abandoned orchard over there. Orange trees. See those orange trees? Can you see the orange trees actually on them? And then up beyond there, there's a whole bunch of abandoned farms up there. One of these days, I'll hike up there and show you all. Lots of big centipedes up there too. And that farm right there, that used to be a rice field right there, but it's been turned into like agriculture of another sort. I'll just walk a little bit down. Now my feet are gonna get all wet. They're already wet because everything's wet. Well, maybe Gerald isn't gonna drop the name. So, oh well. Maybe in another live. All right. Well, I will check out your email. I will read that email later this morning, Gerald, and I will check out your the links that you sent or the attachments that you sent. Thanks everybody for joining. Tim says the green vibrancy always amazes me in Japan. Must be the atmosphere. You're right. It is. And you know what else? Let's hang on for a second. We'll take a look at the waterfall up here. You know what else, Tim? It's not just the green, it's there's this subtle humidity. Like, look at those giant leaves down there. I mean, this kind of stuff only grows in these kind of, like, I think it doesn't grow. This kind of stuff can't grow in Southern California where I'm from. Too dry. But there's just this air is just filled with water, and before it gets too hot, it really feels nice. Like right now, there's a channel right over there. I guess Gerald left. I want to show you this bridge and then a corridor into darkness before we go. Look at this. This is an old farm road. I'm on a bridge right now, and there's lots of spider webs down here. Hi, Heather. Good morning. And then over here, there's this old farm road. And you can actually open this up. Just move this. This is a boar gate. It's not to keep people out. It's to keep the wild boar from getting into the farmlands. And then that road goes up to some abandoned farms up there. I haven't been up there since I came back. Oh, Gerald's driving. That's why you can't post. Okay, sorry, Gerald, but I'm gonna check it out and I will respond to that email. But it is on my to-do list, everybody, to take you all up there one of these days. Probably not in a live, I'll lose connectivity, but I'll take you up there, make a proper video, and upload that to the channel. In the meantime, as I walk carefully back across this bridge, I'm gonna wish you all the best, everybody. Thanks for joining me today. Be safe, but not too safe, and have a wonderful day. Thanks again for joining me. Bye-bye.